80,000 internally displaced victims of Mangu Plateau State militia attacks across 52 villages, now taking refuge across 11 emergency temporary IDP camps in the council area, are in need of food items to survive at the moment. The displaced victims are having a hard time surviving at the moment across the camps. Funam Joshua reports.
The declaration of a state of emergency on food security by President Bola Tinubu coincides with the present condition of over 80,000 displaced locals across the Mangu local government area of the state. The pilot primary school in Mangu town has now been turned into a camp for displaced victims. We visit, and as about 12 in the afternoon, the displaced victims have not eaten breakfast.
For almost 2 days now, the feeding in this camp has been a challenge for us because we run short of foodstuff, we run short of finances to buy things for their cooking. So we've been managing. Even as of today, they have not gotten something tangibly to eat.
We face difficulties for some lack of food. With some of the children, even you cannot get enough food to eat because of the condition we find ourselves.
Help has come from this non-governmental organization to 2 IDP camps in Bokos and Mangu council areas following the malicious invasion of the communities. The support is not enough, but the joy the IDPs exhibit upon receiving the items is touching, as they sing in appreciation.
We are here to show them love with food items, with relief materials, clothes, shoes, mattresses, blankets, consumables, just name it. This is the least we could do as an NGO.
Some of them lost their breadwinners and sources of livelihood and are left alone to cater for their children. The trauma these IDPs have gone through poses another challenge in the camp, as narrated by the camp coordinator.
So many of them are traumatized, seriously traumatized. Some of them, you see them walking and talking alone because they have no hope of going back. Because even if they are asked to go back now, where will they even go and stay?
Feeding is said to be the major challenge bedeviling this internally displaced persons across 11 camps here in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Well-to-do Nigerians, as well as the international community, are called upon to intervene by way of providing food or other items to betterment their present state at the moment. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Mangu.
25 communities in Kano State are on the verge of being cut off as floods have washed away major link roads in Tiga town. TVC News correspondent Ibrahim Issa reports that this has affected economic activities negatively in the area.
It's a beautiful morning in Tiga town. Adamu Alaramma rides on his bicycle to the farm every day. But his journey always becomes tedious at this spot where the road has been washed away by flood. Sincerely, we are in predicament. Even if you are on foot, it is not easy, let alone coming here with the load. Now we want the government to come to our rescue. This is the major road linking Tiga town and more than 26 other communities within and outside Kano State. Tiga has one of the biggest dams in the state, and water stored by the dam also contributed to the collapse of the bridge. As water continues to escape its embankment due to heavy rains, the road is further degraded by erosion. This untarred road is the only option for people of Tiga and its environs. They say plying this road is now becoming troublesome. They call on the government to wade in and provide lasting solution to the problem. That place you are seeing is where a truck fell off with bags of rice because there was no good road. Commercial activities have seriously been affected because there is no road. The absence of a smooth road network puts vehicle owners in jeopardy as many strive to ply the high side of the diversion. The situation is grim and prompts the visit of Abdurrahman Kawu, the senator representing Kano South, on behalf of the members of the House of Representatives, Abdul Mumin Jibrin and Kabiru Rum. Senator Kawu expresses concern and assures that the road will be fixed in earnest.
Definitely, if we allow the situation to continue as it is today, it will cause a serious problem which will lead to the loss of life and property. From here, Kano State, Jigawa, and of course, even some part of Yobe and Bauchi State.
Residents of Tiga and its environs, especially farmers who are worst hit by the situation, are optimistic that the authorities, who are now aware of this disaster waiting to happen, will wade in and provide a lasting solution. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has approved the payment of 40,000 naira minimum wage to the state's workforce in a bid to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal by the federal government. Meeting with stakeholders in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Governor Uzodinma said his government is determined to ameliorate the sufferings of the citizens. Prince Uba reports.
These all are prominent Imo citizens who came from the 27 local government areas of the state. It is an opportunity for the governor to reel out the achievements of his shared prosperity government and also announce the increment of workers' salaries to mitigate the effects of fuel subsidy removal.
There shall be an immediate upward review of salaries and wages of workers in the state. The minimum wage is hereby raised to 40,000 naira, with discretionary consequential adjustments of other levels.
Continue to impress workers in your timetable. There are other people, the other time we had meeting with you, there are matters we presented concerning some other workers. Your Excellency, there are workers, you said, that their sins has been forgiven. So please, we want you to consider those ones.
Aside the increment in workers' salaries, some other measures were made public, especially as it affects farmers, traders and ordinary citizens. The issue of IPOB sit-at-home order and insecurity generally also dominated discourse at the stakeholders meeting.
By refusing to release Nnamdi Kanu, by refusing to repatriate Simon Ekpa, by refusing to caution Asari Dogopo, Your Excellency, we feel that this is a conspirational silence and federal government must clear the names. You have listed out very nice guideline of how we be better. As the Lordship said, we need more input from you on the side of security so that as you implement that, those downtrodden who will be benefiting from it will not get their heads chopped off.
Hopefully, in no distant time, the state government will match words with actions and commence implementation of its promises made to Imo citizens. Prince Uba, TVC News, Owerri.
The All Progressives Congress in Delta State has restated that Cairo Ojukwu remains expelled from the ruling party, and his desperation to get appointment from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through various false narratives in the media is further exposing his character. The state executive of the party, led by its chairman, made this clarification during a press conference at the party's state office in Asaba.
Cairo Ojukwu, like fuel subsidy, is gone. It's gone from the party and it is for good. Cairo Ojukwu's desire for appointment in the Bola Ahmed Asiwaju's led government is the driving force behind his desperation for media visibility. Don't encourage him, please. We need people of character
We need people of competence. We need people of compassion. We need people whose words are as good as a bond, not this type of dubious character. I know he's my friend. As a grandfather, you want to reflect. What does he want to be remembered for? For the lies he tells at random? What is he bequeathing to his children and grandchildren? He's rather cutting his nose to spite his already battered image. Cairo today remains an object of dread, a farrier, and an outcast in the APC. His constant noise-making won't alter his expulsion.
Lagos State Head of Service Omhonria has charged civil servants in the state to build and sustain a digitalized public service. Omhonria gave the charge in commemoration of this year's Public Service Week held in Alausa, Ikeja. He emphasized that a digitalized public service has the power to enhance accessibility and inclusion.
I wish also to seize this opportunity to reiterate the commitment, its continued commitment and loyalty of Lagos State public servants in implementing the state's public policies and programs, especially as it relates to the Things Plus agenda of leaving no man behind for the betterment of our dear state.
To my knowledge, I don't know of any other state that does this for its public servants. But for Lagos State to count us worthy of recognition on a yearly basis, it is a thing of joy, it is a thing that needs to be celebrated, and it's a thing to thank the governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, for.
Father of a 2-year-old boy, Omhonria, who was allegedly shot dead by a stray bullet fired by personnel of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Asaba Delta State, is seeking justice. A good father, whose other two children and wife narrowly escaped the bullet in their shop in Okpanam Road, is shocked at the manner the security operatives are carrying out the operations, especially in a densely populated area. CBC News Ikena Mechi reports.
Hilsi Cakes and More Academy is the confectionery shop of Mrs. Hilda Omhonria, mother of the slain 2-year-old boy who was looking forward to his graduation from preschool next week, but that is not going to be anymore. Happiness will be an apprentice in this shopping complex, is an eyewitness to what happened on that fateful day.
As in, the woman is having 3 children. So the little baby now entered the shop. I don't know if it's the will of God that the bullet should not touch her. So when she entered the shop, when I just climbed the staircase, just at the front of the woman's shop, I just heard the sound. When I heard the sound, I now turned, I saw the other baby on the floor. So the woman was now shouting, where did this thing coming from? Where did this thing coming from? She now raised the baby. I helped her to raise the second baby before one of her girls from our cake shop now collected the baby from my hand. She now collected the baby from from her girl's hand. So she took the 2 children to the hospital.
A closer look at the shop showed her the bullet, allegedly fired from the gun of the Ndlea officer, pierced through the shop on the first floor to hit the boy who just returned from school. At the Federal Medical Center, where the other son of the grieving couple is receiving treatment after the shattered glass hit his eye, Mrs. Omhonria, who did not initially know the cause of the bleeding from his late son's belly, narrated her ordeal.
The kids, their dad brought them back from school. They came into the shop, they met me sitting. Then they sat down with me. And you know, my daughter would just start telling me what happened in school and all. So as they were telling me, I just gave them some snacks. So while they were having the snacks, not even up to 10 minutes, their dad left. That was when, I don't know if I will call it an explosion, but there was an explosion. That's what I heard, because I can't say this is a gunshot because I didn't know where it came from. But all I know was I just saw my son, his side, his intestine was kind of bulging out. He was on the floor. Then I grabbed him. Before I could just look up, my other son inside, that one I observed his eyes too. I carried both of them. I called my husband.
For Mr. Fidelis Omhonria, the father of the boy, he is seeking for justice, even as he expressed shock on how the operatives acted, which has put his family in mourning.
So nothing much. I need justice for my son, nothing, but according to what the eyewitness around people said, they said the guy that shot my son, he was trying to come out, or he was pursuing those guys around that Aziz. He was trying to come out. So there was one particular car that was coming. So the car was even surprised seeing somebody with gun on the road. So the guy was trying to navigate and pass him because they were not really, apart from some few guys that put on their jacket, Ndlea, others were not putting on Ndlea, not all. So this particular guy was not putting on Ndlea. So the car was scared. So the car just navigated, trying to stop. I think they even said he brushed his hand, according to what they said. So he was not threatening to fire that guy that refused to stop for him. I think that was where the bullet went straight, and the distance was far. That was where I'm getting everything confusing.
Efforts to reach the Ndlea in Delta State proved abortive as the commandant and the public relations officer refused to address journalists on the issue, but later sent a letter from Mr. Femi Babafemi, Director of Media and Advocacy of the Ndlea headquarters, Abuja. According to the letter, the agency is investigating the incident as it has set up a panel of top officials from the national headquarters. Meanwhile, the Delta State Police Command is carrying out investigation into the incident. The command's public relations officer, Bright Edafe, says the command has invited all parties for a meeting.
The CP has directed the matter be transferred to State CID. As I speak with you, the matter is already being investigated by the State Criminal Investigation Department of the Delta State Police Command, and all parties involved will appear before the CP on Monday.
Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
On the foreign scene, record heat has been forecast around the world, from the United States, where tens of millions are battling dangerously high temperatures, to Europe and Japan in the latest example of the rising threat from global warming. Italy faces weekend predictions of historic highs, with the health ministry issuing a red alert for 16 cities, including Rome, Bologna, and Florence. The Metro Center warned Italians to prepare for the most intense heat wave of the summer, and also one of the most intense of all time. The Acropolis, Athens' top tourist attraction, closed for a second day straight Saturday during the hottest hours, with 41 degrees expected, as did several parks in the capital. Regions of France, Germany, Spain, and Poland are also baking in searing temperatures, as Europe and the United States are experiencing unprecedented heat. Asia is dealing with a wave of torrential rains that have wreaked havoc across cities. Relentless monsoon rains have reportedly killed at least 90 people in northern India after burning heat. Rescue workers in South Korea have recovered 7 bodies from a bus trapped in a flooded underground tunnel, as days of torrential rains caused widespread flooding, landslide, and the overflow of a major dam.